How have you seen the gaming market evolve since you first started?
I started my company in 2007, and at that point in time, 90% of my business was console gaming. It was PlayStation, Xbox, or computer, and that was what we did. We tested boxed products. Moving into 2008, we started to test on the first time on the mobile phone. We were one of the first research companies to really get in on that because it was a new field, and we were in the position as a video game research company, so we started to do testing for mobile phones. And at that point in time, the mobile phone games that we tested were all pay per download. So you would go to the App Store, you would pay $4.99 or $7.99 or $9.99, you'd get your game, and you'd play your game till it was over. And then the sequel would come out and you'd buy the sequel. So then, where it started as console gaming only, it moved into console gaming and then a little bit of phone gaming where you pay for your app. And then the following year, we started to get into Facebook game testing. We started to get into more mobile game testing, and then we started to see a new model. In fact, we were in the room doing the research on one of the first games that ever did free-to-play gaming with in-app purchases, and people were terrified because they were thinking, we just made this game, we're not going to charge $10 for it, we're just going to give it away and hope that people buy it. I was in the room having these conversations with the executives where people were talking about, is this something that we really want to try? What if no one buys anything in the game? We just spent all this money building it and gave it away for free. So there was a lot of fear around that. But then as we dipped the toe in and it was successful, then over the next year or two, everything started to go that way. And I saw my business change from console to prepaid app, and then free app with in-app purchases. And then Facebook gaming was really big for a period there. And then as the years progressed, Facebook gaming became less big, but mobile gaming became even bigger. Everything at a certain point became free to play. Console gaming, as part of my business, continued to decrease. And today, more than half of my business is actually mobile gaming. Almost none of it is Facebook gaming, maybe 5 to 10%, and the remainder is the console game. So I've seen shifts, and then I've seen things come and things go. It's changed and evolved a lot, but we've always been the video game industry's leading provider. So anytime it's a game, no matter what platform it lives on, we continue to be part of that process.
So some games you can buy virtual products and all, but there are probably many ways of monetizing a free game. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, there's paid app and then there's free app, right? So you can pay and download and you've got it. And then there's free app where you just download it and you have it. And then there's hybrid where you can pay an upfront fee and there's in-app purchases. That does exist too. So in a free app, almost every game that we test monetizes through the in-app purchase method. So that is, there is a certain amount of currency given to you when you sign up, and that is divided into two categories generally. There's the currency that is the in-game currency, and then there's a currency that you can only buy with real money. So there's generally a dual currency system. And the in-game currency you can accrue by achieving tasks in the game, and then the currency that you buy, you can usually accrue in a limited scope through achieving within the game, but in order to get enough of it to do anything meaningful, you have to play for a really long time. So most of the games are set up in a way where if you really grind it out, you can do everything. But if you want to play in a reasonable time frame and not have to wait days and come back and check in and wait days and come back, then you really need to cough up a lot of money. Other times, virtual items are done in the form of cosmetics. You could have a new skin for your character, something that looks different, and that's wildly popular. You can unlock extra levels. New content is available through the in-app purchase. You could buy weapons that you couldn't otherwise get without playing a really long time. Many successful games do give you the ability to achieve what you're trying to achieve through hard work. But if you want it a little faster, a little easier, then you cough up some money. That's mostly how it's done.
Are there certain games that are global in appeal? That it's just no matter where you launch it, it's going to be a success?
There are many that are global in appeal. For example, computer-based online role-playing games in virtual worlds. You may have heard of World of Warcraft, a game like It's been around for over 10 years now and is super successful in the United States, in China, in Europe. It's got global appeal. A newer game would be called League of Legends also for PC. That's a free-to-play game rather than a game that you buy in a box. But also widespread global appeal, US, Europe, Asia. So many of the PC games have been successful everywhere. And you know what? Phone games too have been successful everywhere. Farming games or casino games that are big right now, or match 3 type games where you line up different shapes and they drop down. You may have heard of like Candy Crush Saga or Farmville or games like this. And these have worldwide appeal. So there are many games that cross borders. But there are also games that are only successful in specific markets. For example, in China, so far, no one other than Chinese game companies have really been able to crack the market. Chinese game companies dominate, and Western game companies really struggle to get a foothold. So there are games that are just locally appealing, but massively appealing on a local scale, and then there are games that are globally appealing.